I sometimes think that somewhere along the way we've allowed the average modern home to become clinical and utilitarian. And I wonder, what would the world be like if we all built homes that truly nurtured the most artistic, human, and beautiful parts of our souls? This next incredible tiny home is a great example of what that looks like. G'day, Jimmy. How's it going?
Good, good.
So good to meet you.
And you.
And mate, this is an absolute treasure that you've created here. Look at this.
Yeah, it was a bit of a journey.
This is one of those trucks that from the moment you first see it, you can see that there is a lot going on in here.
There is. There's a lot of depth and subtlety to it, and it's almost like it's a piece of art, really. And there's not much space for art on the walls, so the walls are the art.
Yeah, brilliant. First of all, though, what was it that inspired you to do this project?
It was a long-term vision and goal, like so many disillusioned with the modern way of sort of city life. I just wanted to live off-grid and been wanting to do it for years. I'd always loved wooden horse boxes, and I just thought, let's do it, let's build one. It's really hard to find these wooden horse boxes now, and they're usually on old Bedford 7.5-ton lorries, which are rotten.
Yeah.
I needed something a bit more agile in a slightly smaller footprint, which doesn't really exist, so I had to build it. So I bought 2 lorries, a big one, picked all this wood off of the big lorry and put it onto this small Iveco and stripped everything right back to the chassis cab. So this was a bare steel frame with rotten plywood on it, which I took off, painted all the frame, extended this out, so that the bedroom up there has been extended out about 18 inches, and then extended the height as well. So there's a wooden structure over the top of the steel frame, the same way that you'd build a house. So it's all like massively over-engineered.
So you bought the big truck then, basically just to cannibalise for parts. That's such a clever idea.
Yeah, because this would have cost about 6 or 7 grand for all this African sapele. The big lorry was like 2 grand, and it's now just starting to go silver grey. Like I was 6 months in Portugal in it, so eventually it will all be this colour. This has all been treated with oil, but it doesn't need to be. That's already 30 years old.
Yeah.
There's no rot on it. It will last me out.
30 years old and it looks brand new, doesn't it? That is fantastic. Yeah. So what was it that really sort of made you want to unplug and do this, though?
The irony is I don't like working. It never ended. It almost became a bit of an obsession. But yeah, back to the reason why. I've always done music and always done building work. Yeah, raising children as well. And I'm sort of free of all of that now. And I just want this next chapter of my life, I want to have the freedom to do music and set a studio up and not be a slave to all the monthly bills and rent or mortgages or the usual, why everyone does it really. And just the freedom to go. It's hard in the UK to find land. So I've got friends in Portugal and I just thought I'd go out there and look for land, which I did. I've been out there for 6 months. I'm back for a couple of months building a truck for someone else. And then going back to start building my own house out there and set up a recording studio.
What a vision.
For myself. So that's the dream. But you know what they say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
And when it comes to building this, though, you are not a stranger to construction, are you?
No, I've spent my whole life building. I'm a plasterer by trade, but I've turned my hands to many other things over the years. Once you understand construction, you understand it.
Yeah.
And I thought if I'm going to live in a small space, you know, everyone shows you like van life and living in small spaces, but the reality can be a bit grim at times, lonely, isolating. So I wanted a beautiful home. If I'm going to live in a small space, I just want it beautiful with an energy about it so that when I'm in it, it's almost like a meditative space and functional as well.
That's so true. And you've poured some really beautiful design ethos into this, haven't you?
Yeah. Things that I love about design are natural, holistic materials, Scandinavian minimalism, and Moroccan and Indian design, and old railway carriages. Hence the curve up the top there that I put in. I like mixing all of those things together. But more than that, it's like when I design and build, it's the same as when I make music and improvise. There's no difference to me. Like with this, it almost There were times where I did things 2 or 3 times because it didn't feel right. I can't plan everything. I have it all in my head and build as I go. There's that old saying, music is liquid architecture, architecture is frozen music. That's relating to the old world, you know, all that beautiful architecture that we see with all the cymatic windows and all of the... Yeah, anyway, I could go off on one about all that.
I've never heard that before, but that is a brilliant saying. And isn't that so true? It all boils down to mathematics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Geometry. And, you know, the same
And
math that exists in frequency that exists in music exists in our architecture. And I love that.
This has taken so much more to build to get. It just doesn't get to this stage by chance. It's a journey of trying things out. It's just how I build, and it's different to Mark.
Yeah, because we visited Mark last week and his place was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we're really alike, me and Mark. We both really care about what we do and are passionate about building and the quality of the work. But I guess I'm a bit more arty than he is, and it's not done me any favours financially over the years, but that's the way I'm built.
Yeah, I understand. And great things come of it. And obviously this truck being designed to move all the time, you're off the grid in this?
I am, yeah. I've got about 2.5 kilowatts of battery. It's a hybrid system, so I've got lithium and lead acid. One's running 12 volt and one's running 240.
Great.
And I've got a single 400 watt panel on the roof, which is enough for what I need at the moment. I don't ever run out of power.
Perfect. And what size is the truck?
It's a 6.5 ton truck, ex-horse box. This is the sort of sweet spot between agility and space.
Yeah.
And fuel economy as well, because it's a 4-cylinder turbo diesel and not a 6-cylinder.
Right.
So it's a lot better on fuel for longer journeys.
Yeah, great. And what are the actual dimensions?
It's around 20 feet total length and just over 7 foot wide.
Brilliant.
And it's 8 foot high inside, floor height to ceiling.
Well, already I absolutely love what you've created here, and I am so excited to check out the inside. Can we go take a look?
We can.
All right, let's do it.
Come in, come in.
This is absolutely stunning. Looking at this space right now, you are absolutely right. This is frozen music.
Oh, thank you. Bless you.
I absolutely love the way that you've done this. Just looking at the space, what I see is so much symmetry and so much harmony in what you've created here. The space just feels so good to step inside.
Yeah, thank you. That was the biggest thing for me, is the sense of flow and harmony and how it feels in here. When I do a build, I have a list of priorities, you know, like what you need in the space and what you would like in the space. And some of those things had to go and not be included because it would mess with the sense of just spaciousness in here. You know, all this detail here, each one of those had to be made. Up here at night, you look through and you just see all these shadows and curves, and it just never fails to look interesting. And yeah, that's important for me. I mean, there are no straight lines in nature.
True.
Yeah, so everything was softened. It just feels nice, it flows. The doors, you know, just slide. Nothing opens into the space to infringe on that sense of spaciousness. A lot of hard decisions were made to keep that sense of space in here while being functional at the same time.
And the attention to detail in here as well, like even what you've done here with the wood stove, how it's the perfect depth that it fits in with all of the cabinetry. It's those little details that, again, just make the space feel so incredibly balanced.
Yeah, that stove. Yeah, I imported that from New Zealand.
Right.
I loved the look of it, but it's got the built-in heat shield and it gave me the exact distance to combustibles that I needed in order for that stove not to jut out past that line.
Right.
And that cost me loads more money to do that.
Yeah.
Just so that I didn't jut out past that line, you know. But that's how it had to be. Everything's like a composition.
And I think that level of attention to detail, it's important in all architecture, but I think it becomes especially important when we're talking about small space design, because there is no other room that you can go into. When you're designing something in this space, it's something that whenever you're in here, you're looking at it all the time. And so going to that level of attention to detail, particularly in a small space, I think is just really important.
Yeah, it's crucial in a small space. You have to be brutally minimalistic. You have to let go of lots of things that are not going to fit. Otherwise, you're living in chaos and clutter, and you're spending a lot of time in it. So it needs to be beautiful.
True.
And this was like a journey. It was a piece of art that I wanted to do. How much screen time to build something like this, just researching materials and sourcing stuff like antique, just that lampshade, a 1940s Parisian, probably was in a brothel or something, sourcing all of these so that I didn't have stuff opening. And then these were just still, and I'd stripped all the paint off and then hacked into it all with files and just to get it a bit more Middle-earth looking.
And there's so much that's gone into this home beyond what we can actually see as well. I know you spent a lot of time researching the materials for low toxicity. It's a low EMF home. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've done in that regard?
Yeah, so it's all insulated with natural sheep's wool, which regulates humidity in the space. So when the relative humidity rises, sheep's wool will hold about 30% of its volume in water and humidity and release it when the relative humidity drops in the space. So I have zero mold in here. So the whole space breathes. It's wood on the outside, wood on the inside, and natural wool insulation. That was really important to me. I wanted to be in a healthy space. The other thing that was important was low EMFs. So my plug socket is by the foot of the bed, but I can kill the whole system at night with one switch anyway.
Great.
So there's no electricity, and I have blue block lights that run on small batteries that I can move around, so I can kill the whole system at night. And the battery bank is up the kitchen end. It's nowhere near the bed. I mean, it's a mistake a lot of people make in builds, is they're sleeping above battery banks. Also, lighting's really important. There's a lot of light pollution, and blue light is very damaging. Spikes in blue light and how it affects our circadian rhythms, which disrupts all kinds of things, including our sleep. So all the lighting in here is block blue lighting. It really comes alive at night. It's very magical with the amber lighting everywhere. So I searched high and low for the right bulbs, and I found some in Holland, which I use, and they're only 2 watts and they're brilliant and they dim down. But yeah, it creates such a mood in the evening to have that gentle light, and I'm so used to it now. I've been living that way for a few years.
Yeah, I don't think we realize how disruptive blue light actually is to our circadian rhythm, and what a difference it can make if we eliminate that from our homes, and just the quality of sleep that you get. It's such a transformation.
Yeah, and that sense of calmness. I've got gel. You can buy orange gel from film companies, which will block those frequencies, and I've covered some lights with those. So some I've used bulbs where I couldn't get the bulbs for certain types of lights. I've covered with gel, which does the same thing as the glasses.
Yeah. And the overall flow of this home is just so nice. I especially like that we come straight into the kitchen from the entrance, and in the kitchen I see the Berkey water filter, I see cast iron, I see tallow. I can tell that you are a man after my own heart.
Yeah, I like cooking, and I like nice pans, cast iron.
Yeah.
And cooking with tallow or ghee or,
No seed oils.
No seed oils.
Yep, I'm with you there.
None.
Yep, good on you. And I love what you've done here in the kitchen as well, where you've got this lovely big skylight. And are these poles in place for drying clothes, are they?
Yeah, exactly. It's a drying rack.
Great.
Usually I'll dry stuff outside when I can, but when it's wet outside, I just hang stuff up there, put the burner on or the diesel heater, and it's dry in an hour. An hour or two, everything's dry. And they're removable as well, so they can come down easily.
That's a very clever feature. And you have dedicated quite a large amount of space in the truck to the kitchen, haven't you?
I have. It also doubles up as a worktop that I can write at or sit. So I've got my little breakfast bar type thing there. I've got a nice space, and I've zoned it, with these screens so that it separates it. But yeah, I like to zone each space. You're living in a single space, but I like to, when I'm in one bit, to feel I'm in that bit. And there's a real challenge to doing that. So I've always liked to partition spaces with screens to define each space, but without killing the overall space and partitioning it too much. So even though that's not a big screen, when you're in here, it just creates a physical definition of the space and makes me feel like I'm cocooned in.
Yeah.
The same when I'm sitting here on the sofa. But it's just doing these curves just allows that sense of spaciousness without closing it down too much.
Yeah. And creating those zones, I think it also has this effect of somehow making the space feel a little bit bigger by creating that sort of definition of moving from one place to another. And this does also look like a really functional kitchen as well.
It is. That was important for me because I like to take care of myself and cook. I wanted the space to do that. There's lots of storage there. I had this vision of how I wanted the kitchen to look, and I've achieved that.
Yeah. So you've got the 4-burner stove?
I've got the 4-burner stove, which I sandblasted and sprayed to match the wood-burning stove with heat paint. More attention to detail and madness. That steel plate at the back there, it's slowly going to rust and get patina, but I just wanted that traditional sort of stovetop with the steel splashback and hanging pots and pans that sometimes rattle in there when the wind blows and have to take them down, but you know, the vision was there.
Yep, absolutely. And one of the things that you've done in this kitchen quite well, and I think again it really works in terms of that small space aesthetic, is you've been able to hide a lot behind the cabinetry as well, like your fridge and things like that, that again just make the space feel a little bit more harmonious.
Yeah, everything's hidden behind there, and all the wiring runs behind there. It's all just hidden away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that cabinetry was built from this wood, came from within 5 miles of here, so it was all sawn. I bought it green. It's cedar. It's a mixture of cedar, larch and Douglas fir. I wanted to mix up the species to get different grain patterns. I bought this all green. I had to sit on it for about 9 months and air it all out. Some of it's still shrunk, which adds to the breathability because of these little small gaps and the sheets wall behind. The humidity can move around and regulate properly.
Right.
And I just prefer the aesthetic of this. Like, I didn't sand it all down too much. It's very smooth and tactile when you feel it, but you can see all the saw marks from the mill. I just feel this looks so much nicer. I wanted this to feel like a log cabin. And by using a combination of stuff from the sawmill and reclaimed wood, and then the finishing on this wood is a product called lye, which is used in Scandinavia. It's like a mild acid with pigment. This particular one's called driftwood, and it's quite labour intensive. You paint it on, leave it overnight, and then you have to sand it back out with soft pads and scourers, which is quite dusty. You need extraction, and then you put natural oils on it, and then it gets finished with soap. So now I just maintain it with soap.
Right.
The floor is just scrubbed. The idea with that is your feet get wet quite a lot when you're living outside it. This floor can get wet and it just dries immediately. And all I need to do to maintain it, I just give it a quick sand once or twice a year.
Great.
And scrub it.
And the lounge, again, such a beautiful space that you've created here, and the nicest television you could ask for.
Yeah, it's much better than a television. It was one of the main things for me. I wanted a big set of opening doors. It just opens the space up hugely. And I will, once this is sited somewhere more permanent, I will build a deck. But yeah, I'm blessed with this view and this space.
You certainly are. And you've got the speakers here as well. And obviously, being a musician, these have pride of place in your home.
They do. Yeah, music's important to me. They're really special speakers. These are full range drivers, which give a very natural sound, especially with acoustic music. And a very old rebuilt quad amplifier that's nearly as old as me. This is an old English company, and all they do is make full range drivers. And I used one of their designs, and they sound phenomenal.
What kind of music do you do?
All sorts. I mix electronic, mainly analog electronics, analog synths with acoustic instruments and voice. A bit of a hodgepodge, really. Mix it up a bit.
Brilliant. Nice. Sounds fun. And additional storage either side of the speakers there?
Yep. Same as the kitchen doors. They slide backwards and forwards. So that's both wardrobes, although I was so ruthless getting rid of stuff that my clothes pretty much fit in there and under here, and I just use that for storage for other tat.
Yeah, great. And again, just in general, there is no shortage of storage in this space. I can see you've really just used every available little nook and cranny to pack it with storage.
Yeah, it's important because then you don't have any mess. Everything has a place, and if it doesn't have a place, it can't be in here.
Yeah. And the sleeping area up here, it's again just beautifully done and just looks so cozy and welcoming. It's simple, but I love that you've kept it so simple.
I love it up there. I don't know, I go up there and I'm hobbited in, you know.
Yeah.
And I wanted a fixed full-size double bed. I don't want to be faffing about making beds and moving stuff around. That was a priority for me. But having the bit above the cab allows you to do that. That's the beauty of a horse box or a big Luton box van.
Absolutely. Lovely with the skylight up there too.
Yeah, that panel's removable, so it's the same as the other skylight. I can have full stargazing if I want, and that's a removable screen with, it's actually amethyst pink glass, hand-blown Japanese glass. But
Oh, wow.
it doesn't really show on a day like this. It's quite subtle.
And what about shower and toilet?
So I decided not to have those inside the space. You're in a shower and loo for what, 10, 15 minutes a day, and why compromise your space for 10 or 15 minutes a day? So I've got a hidden shower in the floor.
Very clever.
And a hidden handheld shower on the kitchen shelf, and a movable shower curtain, which is being made at the moment. And then I have a movable compost loo, which lives in the cab. And if I need to bring my compost loo in, I bring it in, do what I need to do, and then take it out again so it's not in the space.
Yeah, I really like that philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a space that you have thought about so deeply and you have poured so much love into. What's it like to live in here?
At times really magical, and I pinch myself. I never get tired of how beautiful this space feels and how it chills me out in the evening with the lighting. And wherever I go, I could be parked in a petrol garage in Spain on the way to Portugal for the night. Once I'm in here, it's home wherever I am, and it just feels beautiful. I guess it's because I've built it. So I love being in here. It's my little cocoon, my little temple, my little church on wheels that I travel around in. You know, it chills me out when I'm in here. It feels like home. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything at all. I've got enough space in here to do what I need to do. I'd like a little bit more space so I could set a studio up, but apart from that, it's all I need.
This is a space that obviously you've just poured so much of your own time and effort into. Can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this though?
We can. It ended up being quite a lot more than I thought it would be. So yeah, I guess it's cost me about 40 grand, plus all my time, 2 years of my time.
Yeah. Which for a home of this level of quality and attention to detail is a remarkable result. But as you say, that 40 grand does not take into account the amount of time that you had to pour into the space to make it a reality.
Yeah.
And you have huge plans for the future now, because this will be your home in Portugal while you're building your brand new home in Portugal, which is really exciting. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I found a piece of land on some friends' land that they're letting me build something on. It's an old donkey house. It's about twice, maybe 3 times the size of this internal footprint, which is going to allow me to have a recording studio again and pursue my musical dreams. So I'm going to live in this in Portugal while I build the other home, which will be all Moroccan plasterwork, similar shapes to this, but all in plasterwork.
Wow.
And then I'll see what happens once that home's built, whether I keep this or it finds a new home. I haven't decided yet. Exciting times.
It certainly is. Well, Jimmy, what you've created here is just absolute magic, and I am so excited about your new project still to come. I hope that once that home is finished, you give us a call and we can come visit you there.
I will. You'll be most welcome.
Amazing.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing your home with me, Jimmy.
You're as welcome as the flowers in May.
Here with this home, Jimmy has created something incredibly special. I love that he refers to this space as a temple, a place to honor the things that are most important to him and truly nurture the human soul. If only we all built homes with such an incredible philosophy.